Hey, people. By the end of this movie, you're going to be able to spot the bullshit in this picture, and you're going to know more about the biblical flood than all the scholars that's researching it. Just a little rant. It'll be a short little movie, but I got tricked into clicking on another one of those biblical proof of Noah's Ark, and it was the same as the rest of them. These biblical scholars, they all get on a plane and they go around the world, and then they break out their old trusty King James and start reading this silly story. And all these con men, I say con man as in Hebrew word for priest, con man, either they're really ignorant or they're just trying to con you. And I cracked the case on this word that I have been having the hardest time with. You know, it comes after a text that reads backwards and forwards. So I wanted to share that with you. You know, in my last movie, you know, I showed that it was the priest that was giving God the problem. Do it to kata in antes, in the under in antes, you know, in the category in the antes suggests a man the gloss and, you know, adding extra what on in name me accusing it in my name, the cast as this phones to fill. You know, they're changing the story. And it was the same in the Hebrew, just written a little different. Having read the unvelishes spits resale. You know, and it's the unvelishes, and you know, and to confuse, the unvelishes were all the extra stuff, the embellishments, all the flashy parts added to the story. And we look at this Greek down here in the covenant, and we can break this myth with one word, and it's at the bottom of line 15. Be any longer the water for a flood, so as to wipe away all flesh. You know, the flood is called the cataclysmon. You know, cataclysmon, according to, kata, according to. You know, we can see it here in Genesis 1, according to, kata, according to the genus, according to the type, kata genus, eis, this, according to the clause from on. A clause is a particular and a separate article, or a stipulation in a contract is a clause, according to the stipulation from on. You know, this word clause is the same place your word Santa Claus come from. Santa is Hebrew for send to, and it means, you know, sleeping, when you're dreaming, you know, sent to. And so it's the sleeping clause or the dreaming clause, Santa Claus. And if they're sleeping, you know, Santa don't come until you're sleeping, and you can pull anything over. You know, you can pull the wool over when they're sent to clause. But this is according to the clause from on. This according to the clause from on. And so, and there will not be any longer the water for a flood as to wipe away all flesh, is too weak the stay it to would arise according to the clause from on, hoist its sail if say pass on Sarka. And so Sarka is this island out here in the English Channel, and it's a royal fief which forms a part of the Bailiwick, Guernsey, with its own set of laws on Norman law. So you probably have to look up in Black's Law and find the Sark clause, but it probably has something to do, you know, with, you know, if you don't want to go, you better say it before we hoist our sails past the island of Sark. You know, when you're leaving out of England, you're going to sail through the channel past Sark. Too weak the stay it tied to would arise cataclause from on. According to the clause from on, according to the stipulation from on, hoist its sail if say Passon Sark. And over here in the Hebrew, you can see that, this, the sign of the covenant, which is Zat, Z-A-T, Zat Twa, starts with A, it reads backwards, Twa, the three, and then backwards or forwards, the tire in the Brit. And so people didn't understand the punctuation. They was reading this as the Brit, B-R-I-T-A-S. The British are the British. And so the Twa is the Trinity. And this is the Trinity of the East India Company. It's actually a real thing. A lot of these signs came from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but it's actually a real thing, the Trinity East India Company. And it's the origin of the United States flag. It's where we come from. The 13 stripes. And you can see the legal contract here in 11. Thus I establish my covenant with you, and never shall be cut off all flesh again by the waters of the flood, and never shall there be again a flood to destroy the earth. But a better reading is we committee, to the committee, QMTI, committee, to the committee to, and then backwards and forwards after this tack, attire in right, I-T-I-R, B is in R-I-T-I, attire in right make, from kata, starts with A, it says backwards, M-K-T-A, from according to. We the committee to attire in right make, from according to. And this is, they say is, it's never, this is the same for thou shalt not, but it's W-L-A, and it means will. Will, and this is backwards and forwards after this tack. So this is the tricky crat, like a democrat, crat means government. And so it reads backwards and forwards, to the tricky crat. Colors enshroud from my emble. After this tack is backwards and forwards, K-L-R-S, and then B means in, and then S-R-O-U-D, shroud. The colors enshroud, M-M-Y, from my emble, E-M-B-U-L, from my emble. Will, will the colors enshroud from my emble. Will, and then attack. And so this is the J-E-Y-E-Y-E. The J-I-O'd from bullshit hears. M-B-U-L-S-H-T-E-A-R-X. From bullshit hears. And so this J-I, it means it's a title of respect, a gender neutral honorific, and it's ancient, and so it's uncertain of its origin. They don't know where it comes from. The same thing every time we find a Hebrew word in the Bible, they say they don't know the origin. Uncertain. J-I, a gender neutral honorific. To the committee to attire in the writings, make 'em according to. Will tricky crack colors enshroud from my emble? Will the tricky crat colors enshroud from my emble? Will the J-I, will the respect owed from bullshit hears? And so a flood to destroy the earth is bullshit hears. And on down here where it talks about the rainbow shall be my covenant for the sign, my covenant. It's to its, to, and then back forward, I-T-S, to its fist in tight. To its fist in tight, bond white. W-H-I-T-E, bond, good and white. Lot in writ, Benny, and that's the actual word for sun, is Benny. You know, they give anything with a B-N, sun, Benny. Of in, hears. The son of in hears. And so when it starts talking about the rainbow being the covenant, it's talking about the colors were fading. And so the new code was set to the rainbow because the colors are always going to be the same. And so they set the new code in the rainbow so the colors wouldn't change. And it always, you know, starts with the purple on the inside and goes out toward the red. And so the bullshit in the picture is the flood waters. You know, and that's from bull shit hears, from BULLSHTEARX, from bullshit hears. Alright, I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day.